The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the most revolutionary games from Nintendo. They took the Legend of Zelda formula and completely turned it on its head and made it an open-world adventure game, which is absolutely phenomenal. With the game being so special, it's hard to think about what else they're going to do for the second installment. Yes, they're just going to add more weapons, more movement abilities, probably more combat options, but what do they do to make the game feel completely different than the first game? Yes, you can have a brand new, giant, expansive map with new locations to explore and new findings to uncover, but there's one thing personally that I think they can do to completely change the way Zelda plays, and that's exactly that. Play as Zelda. That's right, I'm talking about what if you could play as both Link and Zelda in Breath of the Wild 2. And I'm going to explain exactly how that would work in this video. Before we get started today, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. Also, feel free to join the official Nintendo Land Discord where you too can get your name at the beginning or end of my videos and chat with us in the various Discord channels. First off, I would like to mention that this is not the first time that Zelda would do anything like this. We've seen it in both of the DS games, Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. In Spirit Tracks, Zelda was actually playable in that game. She was Phantom Zelda, where you moved her around in a giant knight's armor as a giant shield and barrier for Link to go around and knock out enemies that Link could not, and also do things that Link could not do. And the same thing with Phantom Hourglass, where you played as a Goron kid named Gongoron, and you used him to roll around specific areas of the dungeon that Link could not access. You would help each other out by Gongoron opening a path for Link, and vice versa, and this is something that they could think about doing in Breath of the Wild 2. Now, there's multiple ways to approach this theory of playing as both Link and Zelda, and I'm going to go over the different ways that they can do this and how they would be different. So the first thing I thought about is what if Link and Zelda get split up at the very beginning of the game, and the whole game is about you guys trying to get back together. And this could very well be possible. As we looked in the Breath of the Wild 2's trailer, it seems to appear at the very beginning of the game, and it does look like Zelda gets separated from Link at one point in time in the cave. So what if this is the main premise? What if the whole time you're switching back and forth between Link and Zelda and making your way together? So maybe Link and Zelda are split up on different sides of the map, and one character will have to do something to help the other, and vice versa, similar to how I mentioned with the DS games. It'll kind of work in tandem together, even though you're not technically together. And then I thought about, what if you guys are together the entirety of the game? What if you just got knocked off the beaten path, but you find each other and you continue the game together, but you'll have to separate depending on how you want to tackle quests. Maybe you want Link to go to the north side of the map real quick, and Zelda to go to the south side, or maybe you need Link to open one switch and Zelda to hit one switch in order to get the dungeon to appear, and maybe it's something like that where you'll have to coordinate and plan how the characters work together. Maybe they kind of take a page from Mario and Luigi, where in Partners in Time, you needed the babies to go to one side of the desert and hit switches as Mario and Luigi did on the other side of the desert, and it's kind of weird that they sent babies on their own in the desert, but you know, who cares? It's just an example. But Superstar Saga also did this at Joke's End with Mario and Luigi in the Ice Palace. Both bros had their own special unique abilities, and they had to use those abilities to help the other bro out and get them through the castle. Now, there's two ways that dungeons can be tackled, and the first way is maybe Link is on the north side of the map and Zelda's on the south side, and they both go into their own respective dungeons, but they're still interconnected somehow. So whatever Link does in his dungeon can affect what happens in Zelda's dungeon, and the same thing with Zelda to Link's dungeon, and maybe you have to work together in order to get through each other's dungeons and fight each other's bosses. This would be something really cool, and it would work with each other across the map by switching back and forth. And a more simpler way is just to have Link and Zelda go into the same dungeon together. Like I said, they've done this before, so it's nothing new, and this is a lot easier. And also, another example would be Triforce Heroes, as you had 3 different characters, and if you were playing alone, you controlled all 3 by switching them off. And this could be the same situation here. This time you only have 2 characters to worry about, Link and Zelda, which makes that a lot easier, and you switch back and forth between them in order to help each other out. Now, controlling them should not be a big hassle. It would be as simple as a button press to switch back and forth, just like with Pikmin 3 and the 3 captains. You can switch between Brittany, Charlie, and Alf whenever you like and send them in different locations. Now, the only thing with this is we're expecting another giant open world map with Breath of the Wild 2, which might make it hard to have a smooth, seamless transition between Link and Zelda. We will probably have a small loading time in between doing so, especially considering the fact that Zelda could be at the very north side of the map and Link could be at the very south, which is going to take some time to load in that new part part of the map. So that shouldn't be a big hassle in dungeons, however, which it should be a smooth transition if you guys are in the same dungeon, but we'll have to see how Nintendo handles that. This also could be pretty cool, because Zelda can end up with new outfits, gear, and weapons compared to Link, and maybe Link has different abilities that he's found, and they're just two completely different characters with different movesets that you'll need to realize who you need to utilize at what points in time. This could be really cool. Now really the last question is, could there be online co-op or even local play? Because what if you could give a partner a controller and both of you tackle the game together in split screen? That would acquire a lot of energy for the Switch, but what the heck, it might be possible, we don't know yet, but that could be a lot of fun tackling dungeons together with your best friend or playing with people online. So overall, this can open up tons of new possibilities with brand new dungeons, boss fight ideas, and even handling tasks faster since you have two characters other than one traversing a giant world. I think Nintendo could possibly do this. I think there's going to be a lot of details working around it, but what else could they add to make Breath of the Wild 2 so much more different than the first game? We know that Link's getting some type of hand ability or something seems to be happening with his arm, but we don't know exactly the main premise, and I think all we need is for Nintendo to open up some more light on this game and show us some more trailers to show us what the game is going to have that's different than the first. I'm super excited, and let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think a playable Link in Zelda is going to be possible, or do you think Link is just going to have to go save Zelda once again, like in every single Zelda game pretty much to this date? Let me know in the comments down below and what you think about Breath of the Wild 2. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya, guys.